Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Wisdom Weaver Wednesday. And I am here to share my passion of connecting to other people. And I usually connect to people to share the wisdom that they have for the world. I feel like everyday people who have done big things and little things have something to share with the world. And I love to look through the different lens of that world and begin to share that with everybody, just to gain more wisdom and more knowledge. And here is Jamie.
I figured it out.
He did, and he came right on. All right. Okay. That is an expedited entry into Wisdom Weaver.
Exactly. This is right where actually I was going to cut in and take over the show.
Were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to begin by saying that we did the show back. I was looking at it, and it was back on November 30th. Was the very first Wisdom Weaver that we did. It took a little bit of finagling on my end to get him to agree to go and do this. It did. And so I finally got him on the show, and then a second time here. So do you want to just introduce yourself to everybody who is watching here today?
This is funny. Yeah, okay. I'm Jamie Barton, and just a 52-year-old guy trying to make his way through life. I'm a town councillor in our community, and I'm a contractor, and amongst many other things. So I don't know. That's me. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say.
No.
Okay.
That's perfect. Thank you. No, it's a good introduction. Okay. So
I can't believe you convinced me to do this again. Well, I would do it again, but just this is funny.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're just gonna start off by talking a little bit about how things have changed from the last time I've interviewed Jamie to this time. The interesting thing is we were both single during our last Wisdom Weaver. I wasn't quite sure if Jamie was single. I kept trying to find out from behind the scenes if he was single. We've known each other since we were about 19 years old, but hadn't really crossed, circles again. And so I kept quizzing everybody, do you know if he's single? And nobody knew. And so I kept trying, and the questions just weren't quite right. So then he had asked me for one of my books, which, let me see if I have it here. I do. The Wisdom Weaver book. So if you haven't got the book, get it. I still have lots of books and would love to sign it and send it out. So if you still haven't got your copy, let me know and I'll get that out to you. So he had asked if he could have a copy of the book. And I had said, absolutely, I will drop it off for you, or I can mail it. So I chose to sit down at Colossus in High River and have coffee for, I think, 3 hours is what it was.
Something like that. Yeah, I think it was.
And it was easy, it was natural. And by the end of the coffee, I still did not know if he was single. And so I had to do some more investigative work. So then I said to him, would you come on and be a guest on my Wisdom Weaver? And he said, I don't really have much to share. I said, oh, I think the conversation flowed pretty easily between the two of us. I think you have a lot to share. And so he agreed. And so obviously since that time, we have been dating, and which is why I did find out that he was single, but he is no longer single, and I'm no longer single. And so here we are. And I don't normally use my interviews as a platform for dating, but it just so happened to turn out this way.
That's kind of a funny story in itself, isn't it? Wow.
It is a
Who
fun.
knew? I didn't know. That's the thing, is I was oblivious
Mm,
to all your queries of whether or not I was single or all of that kind of stuff.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm glad that we figured out. There's a funny little story, and she had actually, Dawn had said to me something along the lines of, she finally, in, I don't know, we were talking on the phone or something, I think it was, but she just said, the peanut gallery wants to know if you're single. And I'm like, who's the peanut gallery? And it turned out that the peanut gallery was Dawn, right?
It
And
was.
so, yeah. And so it's always kind of a little running joke, and I love it. It's, yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad we made the connection.
Yeah, me too. And Angie Graneveld was definitely part of the peanut gallery comment and making sure that I kept asking. So thank you to her for the persistence. Okay.
Well,
So
I see we've got a long list of questions that you sent.
we do have a long list of questions.
I know. Not sure
Okay.
how we're going to get through them all.
Okay. Well,
Maybe
let's
this is going to be the first 3-hour Wisdom Weaver.
maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing that I wanted to comment before we started, there was a lot of people who had commented after we had done the last Wisdom Weaver. They said, "Are you guys dating?" And I said, "No," because we weren't at the time. And then when we were dating, they're like, "I knew it. I could see the chemistry between the two of you. I could feel the chemistry between the two of us, but it just took Jamie a little bit to catch the vibes that I was sending from Calgary to High River. So I'm glad they finally made it."
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. And I'm kind of speechless in this one because I'm looking at you in on the screen, and I'm looking at you different than the first time around, right? That,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it
All right.
is.
I'm even picking up that vibe.
Okay, good.
Good.
Okay, first question.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, and we are not going in any particular order. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're having quite a few people join us here, which is good. So for anybody who's listening, if you have questions that pertain to what we're talking about, Ashley Page is, cute you too, Ashley. So you can ask the questions that pertain to what we're going to be talking about, because we do have some valid points here. Okay, so let's start off with, wow. Okay. Okay. What is your passion in life? What is one thing that lights you up? That is something that you want to learn more about, that fills your soul?
Mm-hmm. I think there's maybe two pieces to this. So I just saw that comment.
You,
Yeah, there
yeah.
was a comment I saw that made me laugh, kind of smile. Anyways, I think there's kind of two parts to it. So something that I'm really passionate about, and I didn't really understand it until I started stepping into my town council role. And through a bunch of training and leadership training that we did, started to realize that I have a passion of trying to connect with people. Huge, huge piece. And then I think to take it a step further is connecting with them on a not always a deeper level, but yeah, more something that's not just surface talk. We talk about that a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Surface talk
Mm-hmm.
is everything can't be talking about the weather, right? So trying to understand whatever it is you're trying to communicate with people. And I think that's something that I've really learned in the last 6 months of how I can connect with people and how I can I don't know, just get a deeper understanding of, I don't even want to say life per se, but just a deeper understanding of whatever they're concerned or what we're talking about, or
Mm-hmm.
that I think has become one of my passions. And then obviously another passion is spending time with family and friends, right? So
Mm-hmm.
huge piece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Nothing crazy. Not like I'm gonna climb Everest or anything. Maybe I am. I don't know. But
You might.
maybe Kilimanjaro. Maybe.
Yep, definitely. Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and thank you for answering that. So there's just a few comments on here. I just want to say good morning, Terry. And Lindsay, I just wanted to say thank you for your comment. You've been very welcoming. So thank you very much for saying that. For somebody else. Okay, I think we've covered the comments. Okay. I feel there's one comment in there that you said is, to get deeper meaning, a deeper connection. And I feel like that's one thing that we connect on a lot, is learning to understand. Surface talk it has its purpose, but I feel like getting underneath the surface most times is something that we're growing into, as a planet, as a collective, to really feel what people mean sometimes when the words maybe, are not coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, thank you.
You know what is weird about that? That comment though is like that getting underneath the surface is it is it's an amazing area to explore, right? Just starting to understand yourself better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, kind of lost me, not my train of thought, but just I don't know. Keep going.
Okay. All right. Okay, now I asked my previous guest, Brenda Massing, this, and I feel like it's really important right now with everything that's constantly changing in the world, is which message do you feel that the world needs to hear right now?
Uh, or I was talking with somebody or a group of people actually was at a meeting just the other day, and we're just talking about how we do need to be kind to people,
Yeah.
period, right? Because we were talking about some divisive issues and what was interesting about the divisive issues is they are not really even items that we should be divided on, right? It was,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean that part of it doesn't really, the context doesn't really matter. The point is that once we kind of figured out all the details that we needed to address, we realized that really all we need to do is just be kind. And I think that's the biggest thing that I I figured out in my travels and especially in the last 6 months. Yeah, being kind.
No, and I think that's a beautiful message, because I feel like you never know what someone else is going through, right? Like, oh my God. You just,
What are you laughing about?
okay. I'm staying focused here. All right.
Right. Okay.
Right. Okay. Now we're going to go into the serious side. All right.
Okay.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you do to slow down your mind when you're overwhelmed? Because everybody gets overwhelmed, right? It doesn't matter. There's always a situation that happens. What are some tools that you specifically use to slow down your mind and center yourself back in?
Sometimes it just crash and burn, right? That is always one way to do it. But
Mm,
most of the time I have learned that slowing your breath down, doing breathing exercises in the morning, um, being mindful and uh, and following through with your intentions, right? I don't know. That's like I just think it's instinctual, right? I just if I need a moment to kind of relax, I just
Mm-hmm.
because my mind is going crazy, I just go and rest for a few minutes and just decompress. And it
Mm-hmm.
often works. Or even actually something that I do, I forgot about this, I do quite often is quite a few years ago, I had my acupuncturist would be performing her acupuncture, and then she put on some meditation music, and this particular one was called Liquid Mind, and it was for sleeping and stuff. And I never had a problem with sleeping, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm like 5 minutes into it, I'm like out like a light, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes having a quick little shut eye for 15 minutes, putting some music on, that's got some meditative values to it, then it works every time for me. So I don't know. There's lots of little different things that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and and I'm gonna cross this one. And sometimes it's just phoning you and talking through whatever I'm going through, or I'm thinking about, or we need to talk about, or whatever. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And those are all good things, 100%. The one thing that I want to add to that is many times, like for myself, when I'm going to do a speech, when I'm going to do a presentation, and it's something that's pushing me out of my comfort zone, the one thing that I will do is I close my eyes and take a deep breath, and I just visualize the outcome that I want to be. So it's like an inner visualization, but and I'll even do something as simple as putting my hands on my heart so that I can bring my energy out of my head into my heart, because sometimes we get into our heads and we just circle round and round and round, and we need to bring our energy back into our body, our awareness, and move out of that fight or flight sometimes, which
Yeah,
I'm good at doing, and anchoring into that space. So,
yeah.
okay. Okay, let's move on to, I'm choosing these questions, as you know. Um, how have you changed the most over the last year?
That's a good question, actually. I think in the last year, there's been a lot of change that happened, and there's wow. I think I've become more mindful of not only myself but other people around me. I think that's been one of the biggest changes. I'm, and I'll give you an example
Mm-hmm.
or a couple. So one of them was I remember, and I'm referencing being a town councillor again, but I mean this can be in any situation. It could be a leader of or whatever the case is. A lot of time people have things, concerns that they want to bring forward, and they want to talk to you about it, right? And often it's just making the time to actually connecting with them, because really at the end of the day, even if you don't agree on something, they just want to be able to talk to you about it and know that they've been heard, or whatever the case is. And that can
Mm-hmm.
be reflected in a lot of things in life. It wasn't just in town council situation. I think I think that's one of the things that I don't know. I think that's been one of the most impactful things on my life. Period. Besides
Mm-hmm.
besides a smile in front of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. How about you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Take it back. I'm not allowed to ask questions.
You know what? I'll answer the question
Okay.
because to be fair, how have I changed over the last year? I would say standing in my power and really having clarity on what my vision needs to be going down the road. And I would say just standing in my power. Like it's time to get down and do the work. It's time to the things that have been sort of on the perimeter that I've been like, one day I'll get to them, right? It's time to do those things now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 52 years old, didn't have a midlife crisis. Maybe I'm a constant midlife crisis, but it's time to do those things and get clarity on what's important. And I feel like I've gotten that now. I feel like the wisdom behind me has led me to where I am now. And I'm actually excited about moving forward. So
That's a good answer. I
yeah.
like that.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Yeah, it's a good. I probably would have said that too if I thought of it,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
Okay.
That's why I lean on you to think of things outside of the box.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're a good team. Okay. When I don't know if I want to ask this. When did
Okay.
you when did you last laugh and why? Because I think this is a good thing. We need more laughter in our lives.
I don't know if there's any specific time, but I can honestly say that we laugh a lot at
Yep.
various different things and all sorts of stuff. So you mean we're even laughing right now, right? And my mom is watching.
Is she really?
Yeah, I just saw her name pop up.
Yeah, I can see quite a few.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What was the question again? I got distracted.
When did you last laugh and why?
Um, Going back to one of your previous questions, that's actually something that I'd like to add is that laughter in the last 6-8 months, right, has been a big part of my life. Love it. Gives me a lot of clarity, right? It just clears my mind from a lot of things. When you can laugh about things, wow, such a powerful. That's a powerful tool.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And
I'm
I
trying to
think
give like really
I
intelligent
know
answers, right? But I'm not coming. I'm not working out. It's not
it's
working
okay,
out very well for me today.
and it's okay.
Hmm.
But I asked that question because I want everybody to think about it, right? When did you last laugh? And why did you laugh, right? Because I
Hmm.
feel like an example that I've had where I laughed a lot, you and I laughed a lot, absolutely. When I went to Egypt, Eric and I were the youngest, not the youngest, we weren't the youngest, but we laughed a lot. In fact, they called us the girls on the trip. And we were always laughing, whether I was coming, out of the bottom of the pyramid, bent over with the peace sign, laughing about it, right? Like I really realized like when things go really wrong, what are you going to do? You need to just laugh. It
Yeah,
breaks the energy up and, you know, it helps. So
yeah.
laughter is important. Okay.
I got a laughing moment right now.
Okay.
Since my mom is watching, and I hope she's listening to this, Mom, do not phone me while we're doing this interview.
Yes.
So, anyways, what happened is the last time in November when we did have an interview, my mom phoned during the interview and we couldn't figure out. We had to sign off and then I had to come back on. And I was just like, what? My mom is phoning me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay. That is funny. We do chuckle about that.
yeah.
Okay. So, I hope that you thought about this. what is your favorite quote from a podcast? Because I know that you have many. Mel Robbins, there's quite a few that you listen to. What is your favorite quote that you have heard recently?
Okay. It's not even. I'm kind of going against the grain because you're asking about podcast
Hmm.
and favorite quote from recently, but it's actually not even a recent quote. It's I actually have a piece of paper and it sits beside my bed and it says this, and it's I believe it's come from Chief Dan George, and
Hmm.
it's when you have hard things to say, use beautiful words. And that sticks in my mind a lot. And I don't always practice it. I need to
Mm.
practice it more, right? But those words ring true. It's funny how there's certain quotes that stick in your mind for that.
Hmm.
I don't know, for a long time. That one, I
Mm.
can never get away from it. I love it.
Hmm.
How
So,
about you?
you know where I'm going to go with this. Being at Aaron's grad at Olds College a couple of weeks ago,
Mm,
the valedictorian had used the quote, be a buffalo and walk directly into the storm, whereas the cows run away from the storm. And that's really stuck with me because the difficult things, we need to walk directly into them. But sometimes we've been conditioned to run the other way. And then those things never leave. They're always there for us to deal with, right?
hmm. Yeah.
And I feel like as painful as it is, I mean, both you and I have had painful situations in life. And I chose to walk directly into some of them, which I feel helped me move through those situations. But I also had tools in place to help me through the storm so I didn't get stuck in the vortex of not coming out.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
I love that speech
Mm-hmm.
that she gave. Actually, it's we've talked about that a lot, and how often you can actually reflect and apply that in life because it can be the simplest thing that is blocking you from doing something to a really big piece in your life that you just are having a hard time getting by.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's be that buffalo. And I think that one of the other elements to that comment is being the buffalo, but also realizing that the buffalo go together, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not singular. They go
Mm-hmm.
together.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge piece. Man, you can apply that in so many things in life.
Mm-hmm.
So many things.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I like that.
That's really good. It's like support comes in a community,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think we both know the value of small communities and how they come together. So that's a really good point. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hmm. Okay.
People get scared too often. Hey, if when they get something
Hmm.
big in front of them, it might not be that daunting, but they, it's. I think when they do get that item, and it could be something as simple as going to the dentist, right? Right, and
Right.
but just having support, right, and
Hmm.
and trying to get past it and helping to distract from the situation,
Hmm.
help you get to the end goal quicker. So no,
Hmm.
be a buffalo. I like it.
Hmm. I
I'm gonna
took
get
my,
it. I'm gonna get a T-shirt with that.
well,
Right?
I have one. Yes. But,
Yeah. I'm still trying
hmm.
to find my T-shirt. I still got to get one made.
Oh, we will. We'll get one made.
Okay.
Okay. I took my bag of peas off my face for the show today. I was at the dentist for everybody, and they did a sinus lift and an implant. And so my face is, it's been a bit of a road, but today is a turning point. So that's good news.
Mhm.
Okay. So next question. Has midlife given you a strong message? And what is that message?
Ironically, I think most people get the same message when they get into midlife, is to live life. And in everybody, we all know that it's coming at some point. And I, not that I wasn't living life before, but I can honestly say, and thank you for opening up some things in my life for sure. Right. So I think I've averted the midlife crisis. Maybe, I think so. Right. I don't feel compelled to go buy like a Corvette or something like that, but I don't know. Yeah.
Mm.
And you and I have talked about this a little bit. So there's been a lot of things in the last 6 to 8 months that really changed my perspective on life. And one of them was, we had some leadership training that we were taking out. It was really impactful leadership training. And that was for town council. And it changed, oh, where's the book? It just changed the way I look at a lot of things, right? But what I also realized is in that time, I had a lot of discussions with you and discussions that had a lot of substance, and a lot of thought went into our discussions. They weren't surface talk. And then as well as family and friends and stuff, you start to realize, I don't know, you just start to realize the value of life and the things you want to achieve and our bucket lists. And I don't know. Yeah.
There was a post that I shared yesterday, and it's going around Facebook. It's not my words, but it's Brene Brown, and it talked about, when life grabs you, by the shoulders and whispers in your ear, the time is now, right? It's time to lay down the armor. It's time to do the things that you're meant to do, and to be seen exactly who you are, and for all that you've gone through, and just lay the rest down. And I used it, but I don't usually do those things, but it really hit home for me, and I've seen quite a few women using that quote. And so I do feel like midlife, I'm a YOLO person, right? Hashtag YOLO, and YOLO means you only live once. So I kind of need a ride or die partner who is the YOLO, right? Which Jamie is, which is a good thing. Because
Right.
that's what makes life. So
Ride or die. I like that.
right. It's true. It's true. I just want to say, Natasha, I see that you're on here from the UK, and I just want to say hello to you, because I know it's a different hour over there for you. So thank you for joining us. Okay, now let's talk about this one. What motivates you to get up in the morning? Are you driven by relationships, money, success, etc.? What is your motivation to get up in the morning?
Not relationships, 100%. Not money focused, right? Although, that's nice. You need it in life, but it's not that, because I truly believe that all the things that I don't want to call it, no, it's not, I don't want, it's the wrong thing to say superficial, but the things that are not superficial in my life are the relationships I have, whether they're friendships, is
He is your motivation. Yes, he is.
yes, Lindsay. In fact, I'm looking at him right now. He's kind of having a nap. I think he's meditating. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of things that do motivate me, wants, needs sometimes, right? But also, they always seem to come back to relationships that I've established with people, and all different levels. Whether it's my son Tate, whether it's you, whether it's Eddie, whether it's my family, colleagues, all that stuff, right? There's different. Those all motivate me. Yeah. That's a good question.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's a really deep one because it shows the balance, right? If you were to
Hmm.
say it's money, then chances are that would show me that your relationships are probably out of balance. Not always, but possibly because that's your focus, right? It's nice to have a balance between all. But I think at the end of the day, I'm similar to you. It's like what matters to me at the end of the day is my connection with people.
Hmm.
So, mhm. Okay. Um, Geez, there's so many here. What superpower do you wish that you had?
Hmm. I don't know. What's your superpower? Give me a hint. Oh yeah. Well, hey, that's a good point. You told me earlier, like probably 6 months ago, you're not supposed to tell people what your superpower is,
I did.
right?
Hmm.
But what one do you wish you had?
My superpower that I already have is
No, you're not supposed
um,
to tell anybody.
okay. What do I wish I had?
Yeah, yeah.
I wish I could fly.
Well, that'd be pretty cool.
Hmm.
I wish that I could. I remember watching one time with Tate the movie Incredibles,
Hmm.
and there's the family, and they've all got superpowers, and they all have different superpowers. And I think I I don't know why I actually had I thought about it at that point, but I realized, what I think I would love to have is the ability to actually no. Oh, well, Nancy said fly, but I'm not going to say fly. I was going to say run really fast,
Hmm. Yeah.
so you can help avert things, and I don't know. I think that'd be cool.
Hmm. I think that would be cool too. Okay. If you had the attention of the entire world for 5 minutes, what would you say? If you could capture
Mm.
the attention in a brief, short, Nancy goes, I can already run fast. Mm, I don't know about that.
If I had 5 minutes, well, it would come back to what we were talking about. Be kind, be a
Mm,
buffalo, all of those things, right? Because I think there's important messages. We've both, well, I'm sure lots of even people that are listening to have watched on Instagram, like I think it's rot quotes or something like that,
mm,
or there's those quotes. Anyways, there's a bunch of different Instagram pages and likely on Facebook too that just come up with very impactful statements, and
mm,
I love listening to them. I mean, if there is one thing that I do like about social media, is it's that, because there's often words that come up, that words and phrases and quotes, and or just little tidbits of in an interview that make make your day or make you sit back and think, right?
mm-hmm. Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
So I don't know. Yeah, I would probably, if somebody said I had that 5 minutes, I'd probably go through a bunch of those things and
Hmm.
start to find something that actually resonates with me. But being kind is definitely one of them, and I don't think we can ever hear that enough. But also being a buffalo, realizing that we don't have to go through life and all the hard things on our own, and sometimes it's best just to head into the storm. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, my
This interview format is like really formal, right?
do you want it less formal?
Well, I think the last time I hijacked your platform and started asking you questions.
No, you at least have pants on this time, so it's formal. That's for everybody listening. The last time he had said, true, he'd said, I've never done. No, now he's embarrassed.
This
He's,
is fun. This is
he's,
awesome. Be a buffalo. Head right into
right?
it, eh? Yeah.
he said, I've never done a video where I haven't had my pants on, and everybody's been doing these videos during COVID. So can we do that? And I'm like, totally, I'll do it with you. And so we did. Nobody knew that in the last video, that we just didn't have pants on, but nobody knew, right? So it was kind of our thing. Okay.
I can't believe you said. I'm glad you said it though.
I
That's
did.
awesome.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? What do you see your life looking like? Jamie,
doing my 14th interview with you on Wisdom Weaver.
Oh.
Yeah. By that time,
Okay.
Wisdom Weaver will have like grown to this massive, big, platform that you're hoping to, right?
Right.
And so, I expect though we're going to be sitting in the other format that you're talking about, like have the big microphone in front of us, sitting in a lounge chair or whatever. I don't know. Maybe sitting on a beach, because that is something that Dawn loves, is a beach and the ocean. 5 years from now. Well, 5 years from now, I expect to be continuing to do let me rephrase that, adventures with you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I don't know, and I'm just open to whatever, right?
Okay.
Beaches are the best, exactly. You're right, Lindsay. I want to be continuing to enjoy life. I don't know, this last while I've definitely enjoyed life more than I think I've ever have, and I just want to continue doing that. Keep building on it.
That's a really good way to view life, and beaches are the best, right? Because just listening, actually, I saw this somewhere on one of the reels. They said your mind needs to see water every day. And I've always intuitively known that. And being here in the prairies
Did you just make that up?
No, I actually saw it.
Because for those of you that don't know, Dawn absolutely loves water. Like, if she could live in water, I think she would. So I think you just made that quote up. It's going to all of a sudden appear, and it's going to be whatever that quote was, Velva Dawn, and then it's going to be put out to the universe, and it's going to become your big quote, right? That everybody.
Which is, yeah. And that's, totally. I'm totally fine with that. I'll make that quote. Okay.
All right.
This is not a serious question.
Okay.
And this is for everybody listening. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Okay. Are frog legs short or long?
They're long, right? But that's what I think. But you have a different view on it. Yeah. Everybody's probably going, what the heck are they talking about right now?
And that's okay.
Yeah, it is okay.
Okay. All right, good. The other thing that we were going to talk about, because we were pondering this one time when I was in Hawaii, we first started talking, we were having this late night conversation, and we talked about who are they? When you grow up and your parents are always saying, what's an example that we had?
Well, it can be anything, but they say they'll reference something and say, well, yeah, but that's what they say. And I'm like, but who's they? Like, and then I started doing I actually started doing some research on it, but everybody uses they, like, well, that's what they say you're supposed to do. Well, how do you know that's what you're supposed to do? Like, who are they? Because whoever they are sure seem to know a lot. And I really want to know who they are. So if anybody has any insight on who they are, I'd love for you to fill us in on that. Now, a little bit of a twist on that is like, as I was researching it,
Nancy.
the experts, um, as I was kind of researching this goes back like 10 years ago or something like this. And I got thinking, somebody said, "Can I be frank with you?" I'm like, who's Frank, right? Or by George, or I don't know. There's a whole bunch of them. And then we got joking and laughing about it at that point, and we realized that there's so many of them that there's actually reasons behind a lot of these little sayings. But what was interesting is we decided we should write a book called "Who Are They?" because they sure seem to know a lot, right? I don't know, and that's always a bit of we always joke about that every once in a while.
And you know what comes to me is they're the invisible backup, right? It's like when you need backup and there's nothing really tangible, it's they, right?
Yeah, well, that's what they say, right?
Yeah, totally. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do a little bit serious here. Let's talk a little bit about the 80-20 principle.
Get my serious look on it. So anyways, we've talked about this many times in conversation, and one of the things I'm going to just bring you, there's a book, right? And this called the 80-20 principle. And I got to go back and read this again now that I brought it out again. But everything in life I shouldn't say everything but most things in life can be broke down at 80-20. So the premise behind this book is actually a business book. And the idea behind it is that, here's the example. It says, did you know, for example, that 20% of customers' accounts account for 80% of your revenues? But what's interesting about the whole principle, the 80-20 principle, is you can actually apply it to many things in your life, right? So 20% of the people are making, are influencing this world to the point where the other 80%, I don't want to say they don't have a say, but they're feeling the effects of the other 20%. Or, oh man, I'm kind of coming up with a loss for an example, but there's so many things in life with the 80-20 principle. And I don't know, if we just start to realize that the idea behind the 80-20 principle is if you actually focus in on the 20%, that's where you're going to get your most bang for your buck, right? Whatever it is. I don't know. It's about spreading yourself too thin, right? Really, when it comes down to it. You find the 20% that makes your life as easy as possible.
Which leads into my next question, which is a really important question. And Brenda Massing and I talked about this the other day. There were some really important topics. We talked about grief. We talked about what tools do you use to get through challenges. We talked about mental health, which is very important. And the one question that I have in here, you were talking about spreading yourself too thin. And you and I are both self-employed, and I find that many times when you are self-employed and raising children, like, you do spread yourself too thin because there is just not enough time in the day to accomplish everything you want to. So my next question is, what habits do you do on a daily basis, a weekly basis, to address your own mental health?
Okay, say that question again, because I was looking at some live chat comments there. Sorry.
Okay. What habits do you do on a daily basis or a weekly basis to attend to your own mental health?
Okay, napping. Sometimes I have naps, and I actually learned that years ago, that napping was a really valuable tool for me to kind of recuperate. And, you know, being a self-employed, there are some times where we'd have many, this goes back, I don't know, 15 years ago or more, and I would have to drive right around to job sites all the time, check things out. And they were all over the city, even outside of the city. And sometimes driving along and you realize you're tired, right? Like, I don't know if I can make it through the day. So then I learned how to, you know, I'd pull into a parking lot or something like that at a shopping mall, and I'd have like find a quiet area and I have a quick nap for 10 or 15 minutes, and bingo, I'm revived. So all joking aside, that napping is actually a valuable tool
Mm-hmm.
for you to kind of, it's like hitting a reset in my mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of them. I didn't realize this until the last. This is something you taught me. Is just breathing deep, like just with intention. And I think you can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I believe that's you're supposed to have like three cycles of 8 deep breaths a morning or during the day or something like this, and you do that, and it actually, wow, is it? It's actually very. Everybody should try that.
Mm-hmm.
It's very. I don't know, brings you back to center for sure, and I don't know, there's probably a lot of things that I do that I don't even realize. I love listening. This actually could be a strange one. I love listening to talk radio.
Mm-hmm.
I find I actually can focus when I'm listening to talk radio,
Mm-hmm.
whatever I'm doing during my workday. I feel, I don't know, it just gives me some perspective on the day.
Mm-hmm. So, can I add to that?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Are you going to
So,
make it?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
uh, um, so the other things that I would add, and I know that you do, which I do also, is you take care of your body, right? So that's massage, acupuncture, going for walks. And um, for myself, I know you've seen a counselor, I see a counselor. There's no shame in admitting that you need external help. And that is the biggest key. There's so many times where we get into our ego and there's shame around using different modalities, um, Western or Eastern, to give us what we need to bring us back into balance. And I can't stress this enough. You know, even though I do this work and I help other people find their peace, I still go to people and work on myself and help recenter. So that really needs to be a big, loud message on a billboard that says, you know, make sure that you're using external modalities to balance your own internal tools. I feel like that's really important right now. And I think we have to let go of the shame that we can't do it all ourselves.
That's a huge one. I can't believe I missed that one. That's good. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're exactly right. Like there is no shame in any of that stuff. There's no shame in. I
No.
feel like some of the things that are starting to get broke down a little bit is being able to go talk to somebody, whether it's your friend, whether it's you checking in on a friend or family member, whatever. Right? You have to be able to do that for not only them but yourself, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
if they pop into your mind and you don't do something about it, it kind of sits there and festers, right? And you're like, I need to connect with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Yep. There's the message.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the most embarrassing moment of your life so far?
Embarrassing message. What?
The most embarrassing moment.
Oh,
Hello, Selena.
embarrassing
That you
moment.
that you can share.
Oh,
Yeah. So you got to keep it clean.
is that on this list?
It's the last question.
Oh no, I added one more question there. I don't know if it
Yeah.
came to you. I saw that. Um, hmm, I don't know. If I get embarrassed, I just roll with it. I think most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta just make a joke of it.
Mm.
I Okay, give me an example. So, what's yours?
I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to ask me. I can't actually share mine.
Okay.
But you know what? I'm going to share it, whatever. Okay. Get ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
So the most embarrassing thing I think that stands out for me is when I was going to deliver my second child. So for all the women out there, you're going to get this. And I ate Chinese food the night before I went into labor. And so my belly was kind of gassy. And I remember thinking, I need all these people to get out of the hospital room because I am going to have to push this baby out in a few minutes. And I'm not sure what's going to happen with all of the Chinese food gas in my belly. And so finally, they all left the room for literally 2 minutes because I was on an epidural and I had to be monitored. So they left the room and I quickly dealt with what I had to deal with. And we were laughing so hard that my doctor came in and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like laughing so hard because it was one of those natural life moments where you had a split second and it was going to be awkward if you didn't deal with it. So there you go to everybody who's listening. That is one of the most embarrassing moments that I have had, but one of the most funny moments that I have had because it's real life.
Absolutely.
Don't
Wow.
eat, don't eat Chinese food before you're going to go give birth. It is not a good thing to do.
That could be a quote from you. No, it could be. Maybe, yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't really have any embarrassing moments.
Okay.
I don't think I do.
Okay. Well,
I'm just trying to. How about all the pictures you have posted at wedding receptions? Some of those are my most favorite. Oh, okay. So this actually is embarrassing for me, but we we a number of times I've had the opportunity to become an MC for family members for weddings and stuff like this. I love getting in front of people. And especially too when they ask like on a wedding or something like that, I love like collecting a bunch of stuff that will like surprise them, right? And
mm,
oh yeah, that's that's fun. I think maybe one of the things that Lindsay might have been referencing is at her wedding we were dressed up. Yeah, we were dressed up as like German, um, like we were at an Oktoberfest, right? We were in the
mhm.
lederhosen and all this kind of stuff, and that's her and her grandpa, or Kevin's grandpa, sorry. We were the MCs and we dressed up, and I think Kevin's grandpa dressed up as in a big dress, and uh, yeah, that was fun. I don't know. I don't get embarrassed by that kind of stuff generally.
Mhm.
I love it. I love making fun people laugh, and I don't know. That's an important piece in my life, making people laugh.
Yeah, it sure is. And you're good at it. Okay. We're going to wind up with one last question, and it's not on here.
What do you mean one?
There's one. Okay, if
Okay.
you have another one, that's fine.
Okay. Okay.
Um, okay. So what are some core values,
Mm.
yeah, that you feel are important in a relationship personally, in a personal relationship? What are some core values that are important?
Okay. Personal relationship or like
Personal,
an intimate.
all of the above, yeah.
Okay. Personal. I think a core value um, in a personal relationship is just identifying whether or not you have a connection. Right. That's that core value of identifying that you have a connection and then actually nurturing that connection, because that's where you know different kinds of relationships grow from. whether it's just a really good, like, best friend relationship to where you have shared values. I think it's also good to be open to understanding other people's values. I think that's a core thing that we've been missing a lot in this last 10 years, 15 years. I don't know. That's a tough question. When you really dig into it, I don't even
Okay.
know how to answer. I don't even know how to answer that one completely.
Okay. So, yeah, I know I kind of threw it on you. So it's like accountability, right? Like the core
Yeah, oh
values,
yeah.
loyalty, accountability, work ethic, personal growth and wellness, equality, compassion.
You seem to be reading from a
I
screen.
do. I
I'm
do.
like, where's my screen?
I'm just so, and these are important things, like to understand the core values in a relationship. And why I'm bringing this up is because I feel like in the dating world, sometimes people don't know what their core values are. So they're not even sure. They just meet someone, say, because it's physical connection, right?
Yep.
It's like, oh, I'm attracted to you. Um, you know, we have a few hobbies that are connected. And the thing is, I think the deepest part that I've connected with you and discovered, and why it's been such a deep connection, right,
Mm-hmm.
is because our core values match. And there's a lot of, root upbringing, all of those childhood things too that sort of come together, and they naturally are in alignment. So they sync, which makes it easy to have a strong foundation to begin with.
You put a lot of thought into this. This is good.
I
I'm
did.
learning things today. This is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't beat that.
Okay. Just because I've had a lot of people say to me, what is it about you and Jamie that has made it so different, right? Because, as many of you know, before I wrote the book about dating, and now it's coming into this inner alignment, which felt really easy, really comfortable. I just had to find out if he was single, and he was, and so was I. But those core values are what are going to carry you through. And I feel like that's something that I wanted to talk about. So for people that are listening, even when you're married, it'd be cool to sit down and take a look at some of these core values. Do you still have them? How have they shifted, right? Did you see eye to eye on some, or did you have to disagree on some of them?
Yeah, I think our core values meet up pretty well. I don't know. That's a good discussion point.
It is for another time,
Yeah.
but I just, we're kind of at the hour now, but I really wanted to bring that up to really, because it's not just for dating, it's in life, it's in friendships, it's in parenting, it's in the workplace. Really be clear on what your core values are. And we talked about, I said to you, if you had 5 minutes to capture the world, what would you say? And your big message is be kind. And when we look at one of the core values is compassion, right? Do we have compassion? So this is the point I think that we need to get to as human beings, is be in touch with your core values, know what those are. And when you can be aware, you can practice that every day in every relationship in your life. And it's going to make the world a better place.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting about that comment, or that core value, is being compassionate, right? Is we I think as we scroll through Facebook and social media in general, right? You realize that some of the things that resonate with you the most are things that actually touch your heart.
Yeah.
There's compassion, there's or something that is something that touches you because of a certain experience that you went through recently or whatever. I don't think it's a bad thing sometimes that we're, you know, that social media listens to us, because sometimes it actually sends you messages and it shows up right in your feeds, and they gives you a different perspective, or it gives you a perspective, period. Yeah, that's good. I like that. This is what a lot of our discussions are like. Just if you guys are wondering, this is what
Yeah.
we don't talk about the weather, do we?
Not unless we're going to go paddle boarding or on the water. No, not
Right.
usually.
Right. Bucket list item off. I've been to Hawaii now. That's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And because I added one more question, and it's not even a question per se. So one thing we got talking about a while ago is this Wisdom Weaver platform, and especially in my opinion, because I'm seeing what you're putting into it and everything, and the responses that you're getting off of it, the views, all this kind of stuff. This has become really good platform for you, and so I've kind of pushed on a little bit, trying to get various different people onto her platform. She's got a few people that she wants to get on there, and some long-term goals and whatnot. And so I got thinking about that. Who if one of the sorry, let's go back. One of the questions that I said, that you could potentially add is like that could lead into another guest. Like so, we were talking about somebody local that we both know very well that doubted that he had wisdom to partake, right, or give, and I'm like, absolutely, he's got it, and you knew that too. But point is that I'd love to hear from more people like him. I definitely want to hear from some people that we think are bigger than life, that really are just, they're people just like you and me, right? Yeah, they've had some fortunes, but that's a piece of it. But then there's also, if I was gonna have one interview that I wanted to do for me right now, I'd like to talk to my dad. I don't know. There's a lot of people that have a lot of wisdom in this world, and it's discussions like this that start to realize that we got to listen. I think
We do.
We talked about that last time, I think, too.
We did.
We just got to listen, right? There's wisdom flying all over around us, and I think we're oblivious to it. So, anyways, my dad would be mine, and if it was going to be somebody famous, it would be somebody like I don't know, Clint Eastwood or something like that. I don't know. Who's on your list right now? I can probably say one of them.
Who?
I would think it would be like Oprah or Mel Robbins or right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have some exciting news that I'm not going to talk about here, but there is exciting news coming up in October and November that I'm going to be part of. And Mel Robbins is going to be part of that in December, and the Alpha Femme, Melanie Lear, in October. So that will be coming up soon, but I don't want to quite share it yet with everybody. But for sure, I would want to interview Mel Robbins. I would want to interview Oprah, absolutely. Just some really deep minds. Maya Angelou isn't around anymore, but right? I don't think she is.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
No, I'm pretty sure she's not. And it'd be my granddad. He's passed, And, you know, I talked about recently how he started the Huxley 4-H Beef Club 69 years ago, and it's still going. And he was similar to your dad, I feel, just a very wise man that I talked to every Friday. And I did sit and listen to him every day. And I wrote notes every Friday. I went to his house and he shut the TV off and he sat down and he listened to me. He told me I put too much sugar in my coffee and that if I frowned, I was going to get lines right here. But he was just a really amazing Scottish man who had traveled across the ocean to start a farm in Huxley, Alberta. And he changed the community in a very big way, which I know your dad did also. And I feel like that's kind of what we're trying to do here and now is change the community and bring wisdom, just weaving it through so people can have a connection on a deeper level.
Good answer. That was awesome. Well, we've come to the end of our time here. It's 11:44. We're actually like 14 minutes past the allotted time. I think
we are.
Yeah. How did that happen? This is what most of our conversations are like. We're like, okay, I got a quick question to ask you. You're thinking, okay, 2 minutes. And we're like an hour and 10 minutes later.
Here we are. Here we are. Well, I have to just say, I'm grateful for you, Jamie Barton, for coming into my life. And I love you. And I know.
Yeah.
And thank you to everybody who has joined us. And I know this was a different Wisdom Weaver. And I appreciate you all being here to support my intention of weaving this wisdom around the world.
Wow. I don't even know what to follow up with. You kind of stole all my words.
I did.
You did.
Okay.
I love you too. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I am grateful for you too. Man, am I ever. Mm-hmm. You've definitely changed my life in so many positive ways. I love it. Lindsay.
Yes. All right. You
right.
too. All right,
okay.
Everyone. Thank you for joining us and for listening. And I will be back again with some exciting news and a few guests. So have an amazing week, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.